So I'll give it a little bit, see if anybody jumps in here. If not, then I'll shut it off. So I'll give it a little bit, see if anybody. Hey, Hillbilly, how you doing? Hey, Jesse Dallas. I'm just giving it a few minutes, see how many people jump in here. I Hey Thomas, I had this sent to me by a friend, and I really wanted to share this. Apparently, they scrubbed all of that Ryan Routh social media. His Facebook page is gone, his Twitter, X, whatever you call it. Yeah, congratulations, Hillbilly, on being a new grandfather. But they scrubbed everything. And my attitude is the American people are smart enough to be able to think for themselves. So when they try and scrub stuff so that you and I can't see it, if I get my hands on it, I'm going to share it. Because, like I said, I think all of us are smart enough to be able to think for ourselves and make decisions for ourselves. We don't need the media or anybody else to protect us. We'll determine what is false information. How you doing? Too many pets. Ronald Simmons. And I think that's all we've got in here right now. So let me switch over to this screen here. Hopefully, you guys are going to be able to read this. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to read this. So, all right, well, I have it on my phone, so I'll be able to read it either way. So let's start down here. For some reason, it went the bottom is the beginning. Now I don't know. There's no way we're going to read all 528 of these tonight. Do you guys want me to just like kind of skip through and try and find important ones? I mean, tonight we'll just let it run for a little bit to see how many we get through. What we don't get through tonight, if you want, I can find the ones that I think are actually interesting, and we can do another live on just them ones. Or do you? I mean, it might take us 3 or 4 days, but do you want to do like part one, part two, part three, and go through each and every one of them together? You guys, let me know. I haven't went through any of these, so I don't know what's what these are even what these posts are about or not know. So yeah, I absolutely. There's no way you're going to convince me that the government is not involved in this. I mean, this is the second one, the second attempted, by a shooter. Um, both of them donated to Act Blue. Both of them were in BlackRock commercials. So we know the one kid trained with, I think it was the ATF at a shooting range. I would really like to know if this guy had anything to do with that myself. I will, Timber Drifter, I will try and read them. I am not the best reader in the world, but I will try and read them so that for you guys that can't. read it, on that screen. I'm new to all this StreamYard, so bear with me. Like I said, this is a learning experience for me too. So, all right, I guess we'll just start down here. This is Ryan Routh, 225-2020, and it says, please ask candidates as a world leader whose primary goal should be world peace and ending all hostilities and sanctions. How quickly can you, as a president, meet with every world leader in turmoil and find solutions and agreements to stop kids suffering? And hashtag dumb debate. That one don't look that interesting to me. That's another candidate question. It's just basically the same thing. All right, this is Ryan Routh on 3/4/2020. I was not supporting Bernie, but now I am, as Sleepy Joe stands for nothing, no plans, no ideas, just as limp as Hillary. Bernie, give them hell, fight to the death. So, so far, nothing all that interesting. All right, let's do this. All right, he's on 3/06/2020. Hashtag let Tulsi debate. It says, Tulsi, we need to reinvent ourselves at this stage. We need to create a new, extremely powerful emotional message that we deliver in numerous videos using all we have learned. Let me help you create something powerful. Speeches. Let me fly to where you're at and work. So this guy is obviously definitely a Democrat. I mean, there's no doubt at all about that. So, see if what we have here. All right, let me see. I'm just trying to scroll through and find something that's actually. I mean, unless you guys want me to read even the dumb ones, I'll read them. But I'm just trying to find something that's a little more interesting. I know of one tweet that's in here that's very interesting. They were talking about it on, I think the Quartering was talking about it earlier today, or it might have been Alex Jones. I can't remember. One of them two was talking about it. So, like I said, I'm trying to find anything that's not just dumb stuff. This one here on 5/31/2020, there has been a gross fundamental problem when local governments are allowed the authority to be the only oversight and review their comrades in law enforcement. We must demand federal oversight and inspectors of all the wrongful death or deaths by officers. So he was a defund the police. Um, 5/31/2020, we must demand a federal agency be put in charge of all law enforcement oversight and review. We cannot continue to allow local officials to pretend to regulate their own friends and comrades, um, as not and never will work. Checks and balances must be external. So he was definitely, it sounds like Black Lives Matters to me. But like I said, I don't know. The guy was a nut job anyway. I did hear that he had an AK style rifle. Then last night on the news, somebody else was saying that he had an SVD, which is basically a Dragonov. I believe I'm not real hip on all the Russian or communist rifles. When I seen the pictures, and they were very grainy, but I seen a picture of pretty much the whole rifle laying up against the fence. That gun looked like an SKS to me. So if anybody knows if it was an SKS or if it was an AK platform rifle or if it was a Dragonov or an SVD, uh, feel free to post it in the comments. So I'm trying to find stuff that's not. It's just the same thing over and over. All right, here's one on 6/10/2020. Let me see if I can find that here, just in case some of you guys are watching it on your TV or something. You might be able to see it. Should be right there. It says, at real Donald Trump, while you were my choice in 2016, I and the world hoped that President Trump would be different and better than the candidate. But we were all greatly disappointed, and it seems you are getting worse and devolving. Uh, are you retarded? I will be glad when you're gone. So, as far back as 2020, he did not like President Trump. I think what I'm gonna do on this, I will. I will go ahead and post that full 4 minute and whatever video, and then you guys can scroll through it. If I find some good ones, then I'll do another live tomorrow or something and share them. But what this all comes down to, in my personal opinion, the Democrats going on the news. They're calling this guy, calling Donald Trump Hitler and everything else. It's funny that we've had two shooters in 2 months. Both of them donated to Act Blue. Both of them were in commercials with BlackRock. Um, one got into an event. He was seen walking around with a rangefinder and that. I did hear some reports that this guy, Ryan Routh, was laying in wait for 12 hours. Well, that's fine and dandy. How did he know that Donald Trump was going to be there? This was never publicized. This is a private golf course. And, you know, how did he know that Donald Trump was going to be there? I think somebody tipped him off. Just my opinion. Just like last night, I told my wife when the sheriff, I think it was down in Florida, and I think it was a Secret Service guy, but they introduced the FBI guy, I can't remember his name, and said that the FBI was leading the investigation. And I told my wife, nothing will come of this. They'll spin it however they want, but we'll never find out any answers. As long as the FBI is doing the lead investigating on this, we're never going to find out what really happened. Yeah, that's hang on a minute. I'm still learning how to do this stuff. So, yes, looked like an SKS and a Monte Carlo stock. That's what I thought too with one of the extended detachable magazines. Thanks, Timber Drifter. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's possible he didn't have much interesting to say. Um, like I said, I know of one or two posts for sure that I will go back and find them, but he actually tagged Elon Musk about getting a rocket and something about nuclear warheads and dropping them on Russia or something. And so, like I said, I'm sure there's going to be some pretty good ones in there. What I don't get is this guy, as far back as I think it was 2019, has been on the radar of law enforcement. He had a charge for weapons of mass destruction, which I don't get that. It turned out that the weapon of mass destruction was a machine gun, an unregistered one. He also had an altercation with police and barricaded himself inside a building. I would like to know how he got an SKS because he was living in Hawaii. How he got an SKS from Hawaii to Florida, or did he buy it in Florida? There's a whole lot of questions that I don't think are going to ever get answered or we'll never know the truth on. I mean, that's just me personally. I don't think they're going to ever tell us the truth. But, I mean, what are you going to do? We have a corrupt government that has no problems cheating elections and lying to people. I mean, remember Russian collusion? Remember the dossier? Uh, the Russians interfered with our election. I mean, you name it. It's just crazy how corrupt this system is. Yeah, I asked them same questions, but I don't think anybody's gonna answer them. They keep trying to provoke us into violence, and it's not worked. This is their last resort to get us into Civil War II. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that they would be that stupid as to actually try and start a civil war. Um, there's just a lot of militia groups, a lot of prepper groups, and that. Just a lot of good old boys that like guns. And there's a lot of states like Michigan where you have a lot of hunters with a lot of guns. And it seems that the far left, or at least from what I've seen around me, is anti-gun. So I mean, what are they going to fight a civil war with? Lipstick and nail polish? I mean, just my thought. Yes, the government. No, sorry. Yes, they are that stupid, my friend. Yes, apparently they are. The government is always corrupt. Tony Tenko. Absolutely. I mean, they're proving it. The last assassination attempt I believe we had was Ronald Reagan before Donald Trump, and I don't ever remember there being two attempts in on the same person. But I mean, that's been the Democrats' playbook for a long time. I mean, hell, they took out their own guy, JFK. So you either play ball or they come get you. Yeah, I don't. The news said that they hit him with a Fed charge. He's only getting maxed out at 20 years. Uh, Guarantee you, if he would have shot at Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Obama, they would have racked the charges up. That dude would have had 4 or 5 life sentences. If you know, it just goes to show the double standard. Well, man, my computer's sensitive. They need us to come unglued so they can smack us with their big stick and throw us in prison and throw away the key. Um, Very possible that that's what they're trying to do is push it to that level. Um, they would love to find a way to disarm the American people. There's no doubt about that. So, I mean, I don't know. I honestly, I think that they may try to assassinate Trump one more time before the election. I'm sure trying to set something like that up probably takes time. And apparently, somebody better than whoever they got that's organizing that. But I do believe maybe they'll try to take him out one more time. Hopefully, God willing, I'm praying nobody tries that. Um, I think their next thing that is possible. They are stoking people up with all these illegal immigrants. You're hearing the stories of the people getting raped. You're hearing the stories of them stealing people's pets. I kind of think that they're trying to wind us up, fire us up on that, and provoke people to do something. I think they need some kind of big event where they can do like Ukraine did and postpone the elections for the safety of the voters, you know, or something like that, or declare martial law and say we're not having an election because, I mean, they are bound and determined to make sure that Trump does not get in. I mean, Thomas, I don't know. That's a lot of people to try and get rid of. Um, I mean, how many millions of Trump supporters, MAGA supporters are there? I mean, it's hard to get rid of all of them. They may try something against one of his family members next. Ronald, that's very possible. But I don't think they want to do that because that would give sympathy to him. And also, I mean, think about what you would do if somebody hurt one of your family members. If he did get in, he would go after him way harder. I don't think they want to mess with his family. I think they want to take him out. But you may be right. Just the way I'm thinking. They are definitely following a Marxist playbook, and I'm not going to play by their games. I mean, I'm going to keep living my life, doing my thing. Um, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Maybe it'll be too big to rig, maybe too many people will vote. And I mean, I just don't know, you know. I mean, it don't hurt nothing for me to take a half hour out of my day and go vote. I still don't necessarily think we can vote our way out of this, but I mean, come on, what's a half hour out of my day to go cast a ballot? It's not that big of a deal. I waste a half hour of my day on dumber shit. Anybody hear rumors that Medusa is trying to put a tax on guns you currently own after they create universal background checks, gun registry? One of my buddies heard this. I've heard something about that before, Josie Wales. Um, I don't know how much. I think it'd be hard for them to tax guns you already own, uh, because like I said, I'm not a politician, so I don't know. But that would be taxing a right. I don't think the Supreme Court would allow that. I mean, I can see the sales tax when you buy it because that's the law. We have sales tax. I just don't see how they could do a tax on something that you've already paid a tax on once when you bought it. And if you didn't buy it from a gun dealer, then I mean, how are they going to tax it? How are they even going to know you got it unless you're in a state where you have to register everything? I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. If you would have told me 4 years ago that they would try and assassinate Trump twice in 2 months, if you told me that they would try and charge him with 31 felonies and then find him guilty, I mean, I would have thought you were nuts. I could see impeachment and I could see them slandering him like they did from 2016 to 2020. But I mean, they have just gone, I mean, really, really far out there. Like, I mean, they couldn't make it any more obvious on what they're trying to do. Um, I just don't see how they could make it any more obvious. I mean, I know people that are liberal. They're not Democrat. They're not conservative. Um, Even they said that, I mean, this is just blunt, in your face, anything they can do to get the guy. I mean, Thomas, I mean, that's, who knows, man? I mean, anything's possible. Like I said, I would have never thought that they'd have done some of the things they've already done, but I mean, anything is possible. If, I don't know how they could do a 400% increase, but I mean, like I said, they want to disarm us so bad. I really wouldn't be surprised by anything right now that they tried to do. Oh, on my gun channel, usually every Halloween, I do a little short and paint my face up like Captain Spaulding. A lot of people like it. So this year for Halloween, I'm going to do a live, but I'm going to do it on this channel. But I am going to do a live, an hour, hour and a half, painted up like Captain Spaulding. You guys can throw questions in there. I'll answer them, or you can tell me to, you know, say a line and I'll try and imitate him or whatever. It's not going to be really a political. It's just going to be like a Halloween video. Just maybe we'll even try and review or show some of just the best scenes from Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses. Um, Three from Hell can't really do because he really wasn't in that. He died right at the very beginning of making that. I've been a huge Sig Haig fan from movies he made in the 70s and that. Um, but it seemed like the Captain Spaulding character really, that's how most people know him. Yep, make Halloween great again. Too many pets. Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me for a long time that they want me to do more than just a 1 minute short as Captain Spaulding. And because on the gun channel I don't swear, or at least try not to, because I do know that there are kids, like some of my grandkids watch that to see Papa dressed up like a cowboy, stuff like that. So I'm going to do it on this channel so I can do a more authentic Captain Spaulding impersonations and that. And if you guys, I mean, if you guys know anybody else that's into Captain Spaulding or whatever, when that it'll be the Saturday before Halloween. Tell your buddies check it out. Let me see. Actually, I think I have it on my computer. I think I actually have last year's Captain Spaulding. No. There. I gotta remember. I'm still learning how to do this, so there we go. And give me just a second, guys. Oh, you know what? I can't. I can't even put that on because it shows guns, and you can't show guns on a live stream. So I can't put last year's video up on here on the live because even though it's just a video, um, one of my buddies got hit for that on a live because the opening, the intro, he was shooting a gun off horseback, and they actually gave him, I think, a warning or maybe even a strike on that. So, if you go to AR American and look through my shorts, you'll see my Captain Spaulding impersonation, and you can check it out and tell me what you think. But getting back onto this whole Trump thing, I find it very funny that both these guys were Act Blue supporters. Both of them were in BlackRock videos. This guy Ryan Routh or however you say his name, he was trying to recruit Americans to go over to Ukraine and fight. He was trying to recruit Afghanistan people to go over to Ukraine and fight. Um, I think there's an interview with him actually talking to the Azov battalion guy or something, explaining how more people need to get involved in that. We don't need to get involved in any of that. We got enough problems in our own country that need to be fixed before we worry about going into all these other countries. Just my opinion. And as far as I'm concerned, nobody tried to assassinate Obama from the right. Nobody tried to assassinate Biden from the right. But it's funny that two guys in 2 months from the left, I mean, they donated to Act Blue. They both were in BlackRock commercials. I'm thinking maybe Act Blue needs to be designated as a terrorist organization, and BlackRock too. I mean, when two people from that are affiliated with you in one way or another do something like that, yeah, I think we need to put them in the same spot as we would ISIS or any other terrorist group. You know, Act Blue and Black Rock. Yeah, well, if I don't say his name, some people don't know who you're talking about. A Steel City, A Keith in Arizona. Yeah, I mean, I live out in the country. I got neighbors, but most of my neighbors I get along pretty good with. If something happened, I'd have their back. They'd have my back. Um, there's no way in hell I would live in a city. I mean, no way. Thank God none of my kids live in the city. My niece is actually building a house right now out in the country. She lived in the city, and her husband got out of there. The Kenyan, I call him the dumbass traitor, piece of shit, scumbag myself, but that's just me. But what I will do, because it's you guys are having a hard time reading them anyway, and that what I will do is I will scroll through and I will make them big enough where you guys can read them on the screen, and I'll just try and go through, find all the ones that I think are interesting, and we'll go from there. Probably won't do a live tomorrow night. That way I got time to find the messages, but I will, like I said, find. There's one where he talks to Elon Musk or tags Elon Musk saying he wants to buy a rocket to nuke Russia or some shit. Anything like that, I will put it up there where you guys can see it and we'll talk about it, make fun of the dumbass. Um, I hope he gets Big Bubba for a roommate in prison, and I hope he drops the soap and they take care of him. And I hope they take care of him every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, just because, I mean, the guy's a piece of shit. As much as I don't like Democrats, I mean, I'm not going to go out there and target them like people have been targeting Trump. I mean, that's somebody's dad, somebody's mom, somebody's sister, somebody's brother, you know, cousin, whatever. But apparently, the Democrats don't have any kind of morals or values. They will, well, I mean, really shouldn't be too surprised. Hillary Clinton's been whacking people that go against her or piss her off for years. So, and I think her and Billy Boy kind of, the Clintons and the Obamas, I think they're pretty much the two biggest figureheads in the Democrat Party. And I mean, Obama's chef just drowned under mysterious circumstances. So, what, a year or so ago? I mean, seems like a whole lot of people that go against Obamas and Clintons end up unalived. Just my opinion. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm working up in Flint tomorrow. I will say that I hope he is extra careful because, man, I don't know. They're getting pretty desperate. I mean, I'm hoping they don't try again, but I wouldn't put it past them by any means. So, but I just want to basically go through them. But like I said, a lot of that stuff is just BLM or anti-cop. You know, sucking on Bernie Sanders. You know, I don't want to sit there and read a bunch of dumb shit. So I'll just scroll through, find the good ones, and we'll do a live video and we'll put them up, and we can all make fun of them and talk about them. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to Epstein him to keep him from talking. Absolutely. Yeah, I think most conservatives, for the most part, are reasonable people. They go to work just trying to survive, spend time with their families. Lived in a city from 12 to 42. Moved back out to the country. Never been happier. Yeah, I've lived in the city a couple times. Like when I met me and my first wife moved into the city for a while, and then I moved out. And then me and my second wife, when I met her, she lived in the city, but as soon as I got a chance, we got out of there. I grew up out in the country, so I've never liked being in the city myself. But that's just me. I mean, some people like it, but it's just not for me. Never has been for me. And I'm going to keep an watching, and if anything more comes up on this guy or on the half-ass fake investigation that the FBI is going to do, I mean, I'm not counting on getting much information, but if something comes out, I'll share that with you guys. Um, but I really don't foresee them putting out any kind of useful information at all. Um, I thoroughly believe that the FBI is involved in all this. It's just my thoughts, my opinions. I mean, who the hell am I? I'm just an old dude giving my opinions. So um, it just amazes me how the FBI can find 60, 70-year-old grandmothers that were at the Capitol, but yet, you know, they can't figure out how these people are committing these crimes trying to assassinate Trump. I mean, they're not that incompetent. There's no way they're that incompetent because, like I said, they could find 60-year-old, 70-year-old grannies that were at J6. They can find people that were, even if they didn't go in the Capitol, were just there on January 6th. But you're telling me that somehow they don't know that this stuff is happening. It's just generic, you know. They don't have no hand in it. The other thing too is the Uvalde shooter, if I remember right. That kid was in a Discord talking to, it came out later, a retired FBI person in a Discord. Then the first Trump shooter, he was at a shooting range training with, I believe it was ATF, and I think there was FBI there. I would like to know what connection the FBI has with this last guy that they just grabbed. And that's why I think the FBI wants to lead the investigation so that they can cover up stuff or look this way but don't look that way type thing. Um, Hopefully, more will come out. If Ron DeSantis is half a man, I would hope that he would not allow them to take that guy out of the Florida jails and hopefully not allow any of them guys to interview the shooter, talk to him, or anything else without, you know, Florida law enforcement that Governor DeSantis trusts personally there because, like I said, I don't trust the FBI. I'm not going to say every single FBI agent is crooked, but I don't trust them. I mean, there's been too much shady shit went on, and I just don't trust them. Absolutely, and that was my response too. You know, DeSantis could kick the FBI out. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I've always heard this, but I've never been in law enforcement, so I don't know. But I've actually heard that the county sheriff has more authority than the state police. So I don't understand why the county sheriff in Florida in that county isn't doing all the investigating on this and telling the FBI to go fuck themselves and we don't need your help, don't want your help, get the fuck out of here. Just my opinion. Comment deleted by the FBI. Um, Suspect deleted by the FBI. Epsteined by the FBI. That is funny though. Comment deleted by the FBI, Keith. Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, Thomas. I've just always heard that the sheriff has more authority than the state police or the federal police or anything else. And absolutely, I'm not against sheriffs at all because sheriffs can be held accountable by the people. You can recall them, you can vote them out. Um, I've actually known a couple sheriffs that I actually held in very, very high respect. There was a sheriff in a little town down the road from me that was just, I mean, a really good guy, you know. Yeah, Thomas, I've always heard that, but I've never known any sheriff to put it to the test and tell the FBI, hey, get the fuck out of here. You know, we don't want you, we don't need you, or whatever. It'd be cool if one did, just because, like I said, I don't think too many people have much faith in the FBI anymore. I think that organization has pretty much lost any credibility with the American people, or at least any American people with common sense. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going on. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You tell me if you think I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments. You know, like I said, when I tell you things or when I come on here, I'm just giving you my opinions in that. You know, do your own research, verify. Don't take my word for anything. Believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe, but I do make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. Just ask my wife. Your dad retired 40-year LEO and was a sheriff's deputy. Well, then you probably definitely know more than I would about that. So I will try to tomorrow evening when I get home from work go through all them tweets and posts, see what I can find, and then I will probably do a live Wednesday night or Thursday night, and then talk about that and anything else if any more information comes up. But I just want to let you guys know that a lot of people every Halloween when I do my Captain Spaulding impersonation, a lot of people are like, "Man, you need to do a live like that." So this year we're gonna do a live, and I'll be painted up like Captain Spaulding. I will put a link in a post to the Captain Spaulding video um, later on tonight. So if you guys got any questions or anything, go ahead and throw them in the comments. Otherwise, I'm probably going to cut this short. It was a long, long day today. Hey, Lisa, how you doing today? But like I said, I didn't realize that 528 posts, um, there was going to be so much shit that don't. It's not even relevant anymore. Um, I thought it was like all posts from within the last few months, maybe leading up to this. But I mean, there's stuff all the way back to 2020 and BLM posts and all that. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm over all that BLM shit and that. I don't really care to keep talking about it. Uh, yeah, fishing might be more reliable than hunting if you can keep people out of it. I don't know. Um, I know when I lived on the lake, I lived on a private lake, and people would park on the side of the road and drag canoes through the woods and everything else. And that was in good times, normal times back in the 80s, and that um, people would sneak onto the private lake. I could just imagine in a SHTF situation um, what they would do to get access to that lake. Worminati. My whole thing with that BLM thing was I think they were trying to bring back racism. At least around where I'm at, racism was pretty much a thing of the past. I mean, there's mixed couples, whether it's black and white, or Latino and white, or Indian and white, black and Latino, black and white. I mean, there was just so many people that, mixed couples that racism just didn't seem to be a thing around here no more. And then when the whole BLM thing took off, it seemed like it really divided the hell out of the state. All of a sudden, and they're still using it. I mean, that one guy came out with that movie, "Am I a Racist?" It's just all the time they're trying to keep us fighting against each other. And I mean, T Electric, that guy lives in Detroit. When they had that shooter in Detroit, and he was just randomly shooting people, T came, shot me a text message, say, "Hey man, I don't know if you're working in Detroit today, but watch out over in this way. There's some guy running around shooting people." If T asked me for a favor, I would help him out. I'm white. I look like a skinhead. T's black. Me and him don't have a problem with each other. But in our style of doing videos is different. I mean, we're about as different as you can get, but we have the same ideals, the same beliefs. I mean, white, black, yellow, brown, red, green, purple. The color of a person's skin shouldn't matter. It's what's inside the person, where they stand on what their beliefs are, their morals, all that stuff. And that's just how I see it. I don't look at a person and say, "Oh well, he's black or whatever." I mean, T's an American. I'm an American. You guys are Americans. I don't do the. My family was Indian, Native American Indian. I'm not a American Indian. I am an American. You know, I mean, we're all Americans, and I think instead of allowing politicians and government to divide us, we should all be looking at the one thing we have in common, which is we are Americans. And instead of fighting amongst each other, we should be working together to fix this country, because this country is falling to shit fast. I mean, it's really going to hell in a handbasket really fast. Like I said, hopefully we can fix it. We'll see. But on that, I hope everybody has a good night. And sorry, I didn't realize that, like I said, 528 posts, that it was going to be just dumb shit like him stroking Bernie Sanders and swallowing and stuff like that. I mean, I thought that Ryan guy, Ryan Routh or whatever his name is, was. I kind of figured that 500 posts, wherever, it'd be like over 6 months or 3 months or something like that, and there'd be all kinds of crazy shit. And it was actually kind of disappointing. I do know that there's a couple good ones in there, and like I said, I'll find them. But the guy was a fucktard. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. He was just a fucktard, dumbass, you know. So everybody have a good night, and I will talk to you on the flip side. And hopefully things get better, because I tell you what, it seems like every day this country falls further and further into shit. Pray to the good Lord above that we straighten this out. So, them are the thoughts of a pissed off American.